It's 1,000 years into the future. Aliens have set their sights on Earth, beginning with the invasion of England. Everywhere, refugees are fleeing for safe havens, but there are no safe havens to be had. The leaders of the free world are stymied, self-serving, and impotent. Around the globe, the people are desperate. They are looking for someone, anyone, to step in and save them. They are looking for a warrior, a leader. They are looking for a king.
Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
Mike W. Barr and Brian Bolland had the historical distinction of having been on hand for the invention of the Maxi series. Now, comics had already been experimenting with 4-issue limited miniseries, but this was the first time something ran for 12 issues on purpose and for a complete story. It was, in fact, the progenitor of the graphic novel, ahead of its time in more ways than one, as we will see. Welcome to Camelot 3000. The story opens with Tom Prentice losing his family while evacuating London during an alien invasion. He seeks shelter at his workplace, where he is the junior member of an archaeological dig at Glastonbury Tor. He believes he can lose the aliens trailing him by following the tunnels underneath. But Tom is the one who gets lost. The aliens track him easily, and there's a huge stone sarcophagus between him and escape. Inside lies Rex Arturus, Arthur, the once and future King of England. And the moment of his return is now. Not one to shy from combat, Arthur quickly dispatches the aliens that had followed Tom to the chamber and takes on young Prentice as his squire to follow him to where they must go. That would be Stonehenge, because now they need to wake Merlin. And then they have to retrieve Excalibur, first from the Lady of the Lake. That lake is now a cooling chamber for a nuclear power plant. And when the sword disappears while in transit from her hand to his, then they have to go retrieve it from the giant stone that has magically appeared in the center of the council floor of the United Nations, who have gathered to vote unanimously to censure the invading forces. Merlin realizes Arthur needs to make his debut public, and pulling the sword is the image that works. Upon pulling the sword, 7 mystical bolts fire forth. That's Merlin's magic, and it's meant to awaken 7 others of Camelot who have been reincarnated and are unaware of their past lives. But the spell encounters mystical interference, and only hints of these lives are given to those who received it. They need a stronger reminder to fully awaken. First among the reincarnates is a military commander, Joan Acton. In a scene that would make consent culture quiver, Arthur cuts right to the chase when it comes to the best way of reminding Guinevere of who she is. With Guinevere awake, the team disperses, carrying with them tokens shaped like Excalibur, enchanted so that when any of the sleeping knights sees it, they will awaken fully. Thus we get Lancelot, the richest man on earth; Galahad, a prisoner in the process of being transmuted into a beastly monster for labor. And then there's Sir Tristan, reincarnated in the form of a woman named Amber who is about to embark on her wedding day. Tristan's story is the tragic undercurrent of the tale, making Camelot 3000 possibly the first mainstream comic to deal with LGBTQ issues from a sympathetic standpoint. Merlin's earlier spell was tampered with by none other than Morgan Le Fay, who is leading the alien charge against Earth with the assistance of the reincarnated Mordred, who is also a prominent figure in the United Nations. But while Tristan deals with how he can find love with the former Isolde, while physically a woman herself, and Lancelot and Guinevere rekindle their forbidden passions anew, Morgan suddenly withdraws her forces upon learning that Arthur has ordered a new quest. The knights are to seek out once more the Holy Grail, something which Morgan herself desperately needs for a condition brought about by her use of dark magics. Like Ariel turning to Ursula for help, Tristan eventually makes a deal with Le Fay, who promises her magics can change her form physically into those of a big, strong male, so that she can love Isolde properly. All Tristan has to do is betray Arthur. The climactic battle is brought to an explosive finale through a very clever use of Excalibur, demonstrating just how magically sharp the blade truly was, and using comics in a way that cleverly shows with panels what's going on. In the aftermath, Guinevere finds herself pregnant and tells Lancelot she hopes it's Arthur's, while Tristan finds a happy ending all her own, without Morgan's enchantments. The writing in this story stands the test of time, as does Brian Bolland's artwork. This was my first exposure to Bolland and the very uniquely British style of character rendering he does. The book was unabashedly sexy and violent in a direct market that was just newly forming. If you haven't read it yet, you really should. We'll leave a link in the description for you below. Hi, thanks for stopping by for another Critical Blast video. The internet is a big place, and we know there are lots of other places you could be other than here, and we appreciate you being here immensely. If you enjoyed this kind of content, we hope you'll return for more. If you click the subscribe button, you'll get a little notification of when we produce new video content. If you would like to help the channel out, there are many ways to do so. Just visiting our main hub, criticalblast.com, will do wonders. But if you're more of a show me the merchandise type of person, there are links in the description of this video to our t-shirt shop, as well as links to Amazon for the books we publish under the Critical Blast Publishing imprint, including the urban fantasy anthology Gods and Services and the YA superhero novel Bulletproof by Stephen J. Mitchell. Thanks again for visiting this video. We hope you had a blast.